Welcome everyone to my first ever Stikfas review. Thanks to my good YouTube friend Meads he provided me via his contest on his webpage with this kit. I was able to enter the contest, I won, and was able to pick out pretty much any figure in his Stikfas collection that he had that I wanted, with a few exceptions, but I ended up choosing this, which is a knight and a horse, or a stallion, I guess you call it. And basically, I'm going to put this kit together. It's much like a Gundam model kit. You have runners with plastic parts that you clip off the tree, put them together, and you get this really nice, very articulated figure. In this case, the horse and the knight will be articulated. And like I said, this is my first ever Stikfas ever. Not only review, but just ever having one in my possession. So I'm really excited about putting this kit together. And you'll be discovering along with me what the kit's like. We'll go through the what you get in the box, straight out of the box, and then we'll go into, I'll build the kit off camera and then come back and review the actual kit. So let's go ahead and take a look inside the box. And here is the actual kit itself. So you got this nice little sealed baggie here. Open it up, and we'll take a look at the runners. So first thing, when you open up the bag with the runners, you get the instruction on how to put the pieces together once they're cut off the tree. As you can see there's the Stallion instructions and the Knight instructions. Let's start off with the runners. You get this runner with the weapons for the Knight. You get this runner here. Looks to be parts of the Knight body, or perhaps the Stallion. Some more. Another runner here, another runner here, and looks to be some more accessories, perhaps. I'm not sure for the Stallion or for the Knight, but I'll find out when I put the kit together. Here is the other runner here, and the final runner here. So obviously a lot of this has to do with putting together the actual figures. So one of the things you'll notice as you put together a Stikfas kit, you'll notice that the pieces themselves are pretty solid. Like if you have experience putting together a snap-together Gundam model kit, once you snap the pieces together, it's relatively hollow. This piece here, for example, you can see it's a solid piece of plastic, and so what that means is it requires a little more work to clean off the excess plastic once you cut it from the runner. So that's one difference. And in general, Stikfas are very super articulated, and this Knight and Stallion is no exception. Pretty much all the joints are ball joints, so really super articulated, as we'll get to in a minute. But let me do a little size comparison so you can get an idea how big this thing is, or not how big, I guess, but how small I guess it is. Because here is a super deformed Gundam, the Death Scythe Gundam, and then I'll bring in a 3 3/4 Star Wars action figure. And also a Scout class Transformer. So you kind of get an idea of how the size of this particular Stikfas kit is. Which initially I was disappointed, because I was saying to myself, well, that's pretty small. I was kind of expecting it to be bigger, but really when you think about it, if you're going to be collecting Stikfas, and you want to create like a scene on your shelf, for example, you'll want it to be about this size and no bigger, because otherwise it'll just take up too much shelf space. So really the size is probably just right, especially if you're going to get more of these Stikfas kits to put together and display as a kind of a scene or whatever. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation of both the Knight and the Stallion. Start out with the Knight. Now, the Knight is based on what Stikfas calls the alpha male body, and the alpha male body is just a standard body type that is used throughout the Stikfas model kits. So, for example, you probably would have this alpha male body being used, so let's say, for example, in a soldier, or with maybe like the ninja Stikfas kit. But once you put on the unique pieces, like you can see here, it's got the gray pieces with the armor, it makes it unique. But it does have a standard alpha male body, so you kind of know what to expect from other kits in terms of articulation, particularly with the alpha male body. So let's take a look at the articulation. So everything's on a ball joint. So ball jointed head, ball jointed shoulders, ball jointed elbows, and then you've got a ball joint on the wrist there. You've got a ball jointed waist. I guess you can argue it's the ab articulation as well too. But you got that ball joint here. Ball jointed hips, ball jointed knees, and ball jointed ankles. So because everything's on a ball joint, you really can get the figure into, I don't know, some kind of contortionist poses, I guess. Really super articulated. If you take a look at the ankles, you can see that the foot can go to the side like that, back and forth. So really, really super articulated. Apparently, though, I've heard from Meads that the more you use the ball joints, like I'm doing now, just fiddling with the articulation, the more the ball joint will wear out. So I guess that might be considered a con to the Stikfas, but that's just because of the ball joint wear, not really because of the kit itself. And you got the Stallion, which is really cool because if you take a look at his ears, yes, they are on ball joints, so they can articulate to the side, forwards and backwards. Really cool. Got articulation point here. I guess it'd be kind of the upper neck, and here at the base of the neck, I guess. You got articulation at the front legs, what I would call a, I don't know, hip, I guess, and then knee, and then at the ankle. Same thing with the back. And then you've got this joint here, so twist all the way around like that, another ball joint. Ball jointed tail, so very nice there. I think the horse is pretty unique. Well, it is because it's not based on any other, any other kit that I'm aware of. So really unique figure. So there is the two figures. Let's go through the accessories. You saw this lance at the beginning of the review being held by the knight. So you got a lance and pin it. Again, this is also the shield you saw before. And I guess this is another shield too, as far as I can tell. On to the weaponry. You've got a mace here. And going to the back of the alpha male, you can actually stick via this adapter here, you can stick this in the back for storage. So you've got the mace, and it pegs into the square hole here. Then you've got the long sword, or I guess you call this a regular sword, also can peg via the adapter into the back of the alpha male figure. And you've got the dagger and the axe, and then you get an additional helm or helmet. As you can see, here's the one I have on right now with the slit in the armor. Here's one that you can actually open up. You know, this is the other type of helmet you'd see on a knight. So you do get quite good accessories, quite good playability factor. So final thoughts on these. You know, I got to say I do appreciate that Meads was kind enough to put on this contest that I was able to win in order to get this figure. I don't know if I'll be buying any more. I might look into getting the dragon. And Meads, of course, you're going to be watching this. If you can tell me how big the dragon is relative to the knight and the stallion, I'd appreciate that. Because I might think about getting the dragon, but on all honesty, I don't think I would get any more Stikfas other than that. Nothing wrong with them. It's just that you know, I'm so into Gundam and Transformers that you know, my budget is kind of limited as far as where I spend my money on kits and so forth. But nothing wrong about it. And certainly, again, I thank Meads for, you know, providing this kit, being so generous. And that's one of the things I really like about the YouTube toy reviewing community in general. People are really nice in general, and you know, if you get to know somebody really well, they'll you know, throw a contest like this and give you a free kit like this, or sometimes they'll send you a free toy or whatever, just because they're nice and that's the way they are. So I really appreciate the YouTube toy reviewing community. Really appreciate it. It's been a positive experience. So yeah, this has been my review of the Stikfas Knight in Stallion. Thank you for watching.